Morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. Myself Vaibhav. In today's session of Market Movers, I will be shedding light on the technical aspects of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It has consolidated for most of a part of this week within the very narrow range of 35,500 to 35,300, which is just like holding above the 200 SMA of the hourly time period. Today, it's looking no different story either. It's likely to continue to consolidate, though we can expect the range to expand with the bias turning slightly bearish after the start of US trading session. We can expect the correction in the Dow Jones Industrial Average to extend towards 35,000, which is almost 1 percentage point away from the current levels. So I think we can start looking for scalping opportunities in the Dow. Moving to the data docket for the day. Earlier in the day, we saw the Germany's GfK Consumer Climate Indicator declining to minus 1.2, and this is forward-looking indicator. So this is for the month of September 2021, next month. It is even below the consensus estimates, and this is happening amidst the rising COVID-19 cases in Germany. For ECB's monetary policy meeting, we had these minutes released in today's session. The ECB's new guidance for interest rates was widely discussed in the last meeting, and more details have emerged from these minutes. According for that meeting, policymakers had to walk the tightrope of keeping the inflation targeting commitment credible, while at the same time not contributing to a premature tightening of the monetary policy. For US, we also got the initial jobless claims, which are slightly higher at 353,000. The trend of a decline in initial jobless claims in terms of week on week have snapped this week, and I think we are not likely to see any major change in coming weeks also. And this number, which is still quite higher compared to the pre-pandemic day, is likely to remain in this range at least for foreseeable future, with initial jobless claims likely to remain above 300,000. Now let's turn our attention to the technical aspects. First, we will consider the technical outlook for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. After that, I will also consider the instrument of choice in currency segment, which is USD/JPY. Let's start the technical outlook for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. This is the daily time frame chart, and here we can see that after this deep correction, the Dow has tried to walk back those losses, and now it has gotten closer to this prior high, the all-time high, just little above 35,600. But this is not going to be that easy for the Dow to again climb above that. Eventually, it is likely to climb, but for next few days, I think it is likely to spend the time in consolidation phase, and as we have seen for most part of this week, we can expect this consolidation to go on, and a deep towards 35,000 can be expected. So 35,000 is going to be a crucial level for foreseeable future for next couple of days at least, and we can look for scalping opportunities where we can short the Dow closer to this recent swing high, and on the lower side we can continue to look to buy it closer to the 35,000 level. Mostly we will have to rely on the lower time frame charting while looking for the optimum entry and exit here. We have this first resistance of this month's pivot point series, which has kept the gains of the Dow after it started to climb back from the levels of 34,600, and after it reached here closer to the first resistance, it has gone in a sideways trajectory, and this time around in today's session we have this fresh bearish momentum building up, which has pushed it closer to the immediate swing low. And for this week, for this session, the today's session, I think we can go for any short sale trade while keeping the stop loss just little above the days high. So a stop loss effectively needs to be kept closer to 35,500, and any entry closer to 35,400 is likely to bring good results, with target can be kept closer to 35,200 or thereabout, thus bringing us a risk reward ratio of 1 is to 2. But this is purely a scalping trade. We are not really looking for big trades here, and looking at its narrow trading range, I think we will have to keep the stop loss and the target price also accordingly. And that means we will have to keep the stop loss and target price fairly sharp, so as to make sure that we don't really get involved in the markets where there is no trend, no directional momentum, and we won't be stuck for a long time. And if we are keeping the stop loss and target price sharp, we will have good opportunity or of getting out of the trade in a profitable manner. We have this 200 SMA on the lower side, and that has been providing the immediate support for the dough on the lower side. And on the higher side, as I said, we have the 200, the first resistance of this month's pivot point series, and that has kept the gains on the higher side. So we will have to trade within these range, and basically we have to look for shorting opportunities as close as possible to this resistance area, while keeping our target price closer to or just little below 35,200. So that's the take looking at the current price formation of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Moving to the USD JPY's technical outlook, this is the daily time frame chart, and after the break above the 110, the USD JPY has tried to climb towards 110.2, but if we look at its weekly price formation, I think given the fact that it has run up almost like 70 to 80 pips from the low, it is likely to spend today's session in a consolidation phase, and maybe by tomorrow's session we can expect it to resume the climb, and week is likely to end closer to 110.5 level. Of course, it is not certain, but the probability looks good that there is a upward momentum which we are observing in the USD JPY is likely to last for next session as well, and we can try to go for a buy trade in the USD JPY. And for that, we will have to pay attention to the immediate hurdle, which is the central pivot point of this month's pivot point series that has kept the USD JPY within this range, and we have seen on multiple occasions that the USD JPY has struggled and went into decline. This time around, it will be interesting to see. But looking at its this swing low, which is higher compared to the prior swing low. So we have here the formation of a higher swing low. So naturally speaking, or you can say as a inference, we can expect the next swing high to be higher compared to the prior swing high. So that opens up the possibility of USD JPY retaining its near-term momentum of incremental gains, and we can expect the move towards 110.5 at the bare minimum. For that, we will have to optimize our entry and exit, and only a clear-cut break above these consolidation highs should be considered as a signal of building up of the bullish momentum, and entry anywhere closer to 110.2 with the stop loss being kept closer to 110 can be taken, while keeping the target price just little above 110.5 or thereabout. So this trade is not exactly 1 is to 2, but it looks good, and in a week we tend to see the USD JPY moving almost closer to 150 pips. Not every week, but that is the ATR. So we do have the good possibility of USD JPY continuing its climb higher and moving towards this desired price target. On the formation of SMAs, we have all these three SMAs pointing northward. So we can consider this fact as well, though these are not likely to remain in play because we have almost 30 pips difference within this, so we can't really use this while determining the entry. We will mostly have to rely on this price formation. That's my take for USD JPY. If you have any idea or any query to share, you can write to me in the feedback section and I would be more than happy to take the discussion forward. I would also like to remind of the risk associated with trading in the financial instrument, and one should be careful while using the information provided. We are also available on the Facebook. You can follow our Facebook page. For further coverage of the market developments, you can check out the Decoscopy Analytics page. And whenever you want to start trading, if you haven't already done that, the JForex platform is at your service. Thank you all for joining in. Have a fabulous day ahead. See you next time. Till then, goodbye.